My name is Tammy. What's your name?
Yeah, you can call me Astonish.
Okay. What industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
I'm into motion design animation.
For how long?
Been 8 years, 7 years.
8 years. So can you share with us what has the journey been like for you?
Oh, it's been a beautiful journey, like a self-discovery journey. Started from one thing to another thing, design, drawing, then animation, branding, tech. And yeah, I've worked in different industries, entertainment, ITC, communication, storytelling, and fintech, and currently building a community, MBX.
So, as a motion designer, where and where? Like, can you give us an idea of where and where you worked at?
Okay, I've worked for brands locally and internationally. I've worked with Raven Bank. I've worked with Roku, Pop Center, Pensadale, a lot of them. Even Nigeria Brand Shakes, Bole Festival. Recently, I'm working with more of lifestyle brands that do lifestyle events and product. Yeah.
Okay. So, for someone that wants to get into your line of work, what piece of advice would you give to the person?
You should be willing and happy to consume enough information. Yeah, a lot of information, and then also practice. Put yourself out there. Don't be limited to a tool or a skill. Learn as much as you can, and then network. I think the best thing that you can do is to go with a community. Have a community that believe in what you believe in, so that you can interact with your peers and then discover things where you go.
Okay, so as a motion designer, what's the most amount of money you've made in a year?
Come again?
As a motion designer, what's the most amount of money you've made in a year?
Can I say in a month? I think I've made $5K in some weeks. Yeah. Some week I'm more better. Yeah.
Okay, so can you give us 5 names of people that have helped shape the kind of person you are?
5 names.
Yeah.
Of people that have helped. Okay, so I'm not big on big names. So the names I will call are names of people that are much personal to me. I think I can mention Isaac Zara. I can mention Dan Brown. I've mentioned Henry. I can mention 5, right? Yeah, Chris Do. I think Chris Do have been very influential in my career, and Ricardo. These are personal names. The many people, I just follow them from afar. Follow them from afar. But I think I will respect the ones that are much more personal in terms of shaping my career.
Okay, so can you give us 5 pieces of advice you give to your younger self?
Start sooner. Just start. Whatever idea you have, just start. Just start it out. That's the piece of advice I would give.
All right. What do you do to relax?
What do I do? I eat. I eat. If I want to relax, I eat well. Eating well helps me relax. Hello everyone, the name is Astonish. I'm a motion designer. Please subscribe to Efficiently Inspired. Stay tuned.
Thanks. My name is Louis White Jr.
What industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
I'm currently in the games industry, African game industry, and I'm also a UX designer. So I do design and I focus more as an advocate in the games industry.
For how long?
I've been in the game industry for about 2 years now. But all my life I've been a UX designer. So let's say UX design for 5 years, 5 years exactly. The game 2 years.
Okay, can you share with us the story of how you started? What inspired you to start? What are the challenges you've had and some of the achievements you've had?
Okay, first off, I started as a designer, and I've always been in the design space, right? Even me being in the game space, I used to do user experience in the game industry. Yeah, so I started from there, then I grew from there, and then I found that the space is really lacking so much of resources, right? So much of intellect and so much person. space. So I decided to go into the advocacy in the tech space. So all my life in the game, in the industry, in the tech industry, I've been doing community management, advocacy, trying to see how I can get more people into the space, especially in the tech space, and then how we can link them up and all. So that led me to do lots of certain things, including Accelerate Hub, communities, and the likes. Right. So that was when, after everything, I found out about the game industry, because the game industry, that particular industry that is not being known, is there, right? But it's a very quiet space. It may shock you to know that the game industry is the biggest industry. It's 5 times bigger than the movies and the music industry combined together, right? Several things are happening in that space, but then there are lots of persons that are not really aware that things like this are happening, and then there are lots of opportunities in the game space. So that drove me into game advocacy, where I reach out to lots of persons, and then this is what's happening here, this is what's happening here, this is how you can go into it, right? And that led I and my team, we came together, and then we decided to have Game Adverts Africa and 6 Studio. So the role of Game Adverts Africa is simply to reach out to the underserved regions that doesn't really know much about the game industry and see how we can bring them up. And then January or February, we will be having launching our products fully, where people can come in and learn any particular space, anything in the games industry. Yeah, so success, you talked about success, yeah. So I would say we are still growing, likewise several others. And then personally, my achievement has been, I've gotten tests. I do share them on LinkedIn and on my status and my WhatsApp, and then on my social medias, right? Where people have reached out to me and be like, hey, I thank you so much for this. I thank you so much for these opportunities. Of recent, I got another mail of somebody telling me how she was really, really inspired. We did not even have a personal conversation, right? Just because of the things I do and the things I and my team do. So there are lots of opportunities out there, and then we are just happy that we are contributing to the ecosystem.
Okay, so for someone who wants to get into the game space, what advice would you give to that person?
The first thing is the game space has lots of career paths in it, right? Many people assume that the game space is just game developer or game designer, right? So there are lots of career paths like game technical writing, there are game art, 3D art designers, VFX, audio designers. If you look at the game industry, before you can get a single game out, right, there are lots of skill sets that comes together to build that particular game, right? So there are lots of skill sets, right, where somebody can go in, and then somebody that is already in the tech space can easily divert into the game space and then just learn and then just continue. So the advice for newbies: explore other opportunities in the game space. Join communities. There are communities you can join that will boost you, give you access to information. Because one thing we are lacking in this part of the world is access to information. And then there are few communities in the game space that can actually do that, such as Africomicade, led by Oscar Michael and his team. But there are lots of them. So it's just for you to reach out to the right person, get connected, and then they'll guide you all the way.
Can you give us 5 names of people that have helped shape the kind of person you are? 5 names. Whether personal or public.
Okay, so I'll start with Oscar Michael, right? But I didn't really start with Oscar Michael, right? I would say Oscar Michael, the founder of Africomicade. I would say Ryan Raphael, the founder of Rhyme Interiors. He's also a VR AR. And then we have Gordon Jimmy, who is the founder of Accelerate Hub and also the CTO of Downtown Technologies. And I currently depend on lots of persons, like my team. I can't really do without them. So I can mention my entire team, you get. So there are lots of persons that I'm a community person. And then I'm privileged. I don't think most persons have that, are privileged like me to have access of people that are willing to help me. So there are certain things I do. I don't just do them. I just reach out to some people and they are willing to go all out for me. So shout out to my team. And then there are lots of persons. We have Chibuzo. We have there are so many. Tama, Minima, there are several of them. And then Favor Ayozie, who is my PA. So she's awesome too.
Okay. Yeah. So can you give us 5 pieces of advice you give to your younger self?
My younger self: start early, don't procrastinate, don't limit yourself, aim for the highest, like aim high. right? And growing up, I had that phobia. Right? What if I come out and then what if I'm being spotlighted? Can I back it up? Do I have that what it takes to actually stand up for it? So I've always been scared of the media and all. So go all out. Don't be scared. Reach out to the right persons, and make sure you build trust. Make sure you build trust.
Okay, to wrap it up, what do you do to relax?
I watch anime. I'm an anime person. Most times, anime, classical music. I'm a fan of classical music. So I do classical, I do EDM. I see classical, I watch anime lots of the time, and then I just do research. When I play games, I'm a gamer, definitely. So, hello, my name is Louis White Joner. I'm games advocate in the African game industry, and I'm also a UX designer. I'm also programs coordinator for Gameverse Africa, right? So, do well to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you.
My name is Ayosi Godfrey.
What industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
Like IT, I generally call it IT, but tech. But generally, in school, I like an engineering background, but I'm currently in tech.
Okay, so for how long?
How long have I been in tech?
Yeah.
Well, I've not really counted, but I can just say over a decade. That's just the best way to answer it. Over a decade, yeah.
So can you specifically in tech is a broad term, so specifically where?
Okay, so currently I'm a manager, I'm a product manager, and what we do is we try to be the person that interface between clients, developers, and the business. But I didn't start up as a product manager. I started as a Java developer that built softwares for desktop computers. Then I moved into building Android applications. Then I dabbled into a little bit of web development and UI UX. But currently, I'm a product manager, so I manage developers.
Okay, so what piece of advice would you give to someone who would love to get into your line of work?
I think to get into my line of work, generally into tech or as a product manager, I'll tell you to try a lot of things. Don't be afraid to fail. A lot of us failed while trying out. But the thing about failure is that in as much as you might not get your expected output, you'll have learned something along the way. That's one advice I will give to anybody that wants to go into tech. And the good thing about tech is that tech allows you to fail and still learn on failing. So that's the good thing about it.
Okay. What's the most amount of money you've made in a year as a product manager?
Okay, as a product manager, not much. Not much. Do I need to give values?
If you want to.
Okay, I don't think I need to give values.
Okay.
But the good thing about it is that I run a company, and in my company, I am the product manager for my company. So when we seal deals, Elixgate Technologies Limited. So when we seal deals, I serve as a product manager. So that's why I said I really don't know how to give an expected figure, something like that.
Okay, so for someone who wants to run a company, what piece of advice would you give to them to scale a business from 1 to $1 million or 1 to 500,000 to scale a business basically?
Okay, to scale a business. So businesses in tech are kind of dicey. Dicey in the sense that you need to understand that there has to be a market. Whatever you're doing, there should be a market. There should be people ready to absorb that particular product you want to build. So if there's already a market for you, then your business is as large as your market. Okay? So there's no really hard and fast rule because, like I tell people, and I've listened to experts speak, at times is the time that determines how fast your business is going to grow. Right now, it's easy for me to build a business in blockchain because there are so many infrastructures right now on the blockchain that you can use to build right now. Right now, it's easy for me to build a business in AI because there's open AI infrastructure that I can just plug into an existing business. So just be aware that if there's a market for you, your business is as large as the market. So that's the advice I'll give anybody that wants to start a business.
Can you give us 5 names of people that have inspired you to become the kind of person you are? 5 names.
Ooh, 5 names.
Yeah.
I think the first person I would pick would be Steve Jobs. I think I like Steve Jobs because I'll give a reason. The reason why I like Steve Jobs is because Apple build products that always stand the test of time, and they always build products that are very strong and long-lasting. So that's why I'll pick Steve Jobs. Then secondly would be Bill Gates because that dude knows how to seal a deal. Imagine sealing the deal where you have to sell operating system to any hardware that comes to you. So that's another thing. Then the third person I would pick would be, I don't know if they're up to 5. I think the third person I would pick would be Mark Zuckerberg. The reason is that without zero knowledge, he started a business right from when he was in school and he's a billionaire right now and he's always innovating. And as much as people say he steals ideas, but he knows how to plug into existing ideas into his own personal idea. So that's the number 3 person. And the number 4 person is Anyedi Udo. is a Nigerian that is in charge of the developers. He was first in charge of the sub-Saharan developers for the GDG program, but right now is in charge of still this GDG program for the North American people. And finally, who would I pick? That would be like a strong one. Finally, who would I pick on my list of people that has inspired me? Wow. Oh, my dude, Elon Musk. I think I'll add Elon Musk to the list because listen to that guy's story. Even when he joined the Tesla brand, he never believed that they could make it. He said he just wanted to build a very beautiful electric motor cars. And right now, you can see what Tesla is doing. And even with the SpaceX program, trying to build a private business that wants to launch people into space. I think these 5 dudes they've showed me that have an idea, go with the idea, create a market for it, and you can actually hit the moon or maybe fall somewhere in space.
Okay, so give us one piece of advice you give your younger self.
Wow. I think I will still jump back to don't be afraid to fail. Okay, no matter how people tell you this is not going to work, try it. And that has been one motivating factor that helped me out. I think after learning my first line of code in tech, I wanted to build a social media. I wanted to build a social networking application like Facebook. I didn't know all the stress I need to go through that, but it kept me going. I did not build it, but I learned a lot along the way. So what I would tell my younger self is that no matter how difficult that thing might be, just go head first, try it out. If you fail, you'll have learned a lot of things before you fail.
Okay, what do you do to relax?
Yeah, I watch anime, I play football, and I spend a lot of time on WhatsApp. So my name is Ayao Sioshoke Godfrey. I'm a product manager with Renaissance Innovations Lab and LSG Technology Limited. And I want you guys to subscribe so I can get awesome interviews like this. I meet people that are more awesome than myself. Thank you very much. Peace out.
Thanks.